Hi readers, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. Today I wanted to bring forward some books about winter because it is winter here for sure. Also, though, we may have some snow. This weekend, I'm filming this ahead from when it will post, but this weekend they're predicting that we will be in the teens, which is not normal for us, obviously, and that there might be some precipitation that would turn into ice or snow. So we are gearing up for a winter wonderland, which we don't get often here in the South. Those of you who live in other parts of the world, I know, are laughing for one, because this is not going to be the snow like you have. But for two, you're probably groaning because you're already in the thick of it. But I do love to sit down with a book, a cozy book, especially if it's a book I can read in one day that is set in a wintry time. And so I have a couple that I'm bringing forward to you that I have really enjoyed and that I have thought about pressing into your hands, but also possibly rereading during the next few weeks as we kind of see how this unfolds. We're coming into the end of January as I'm filming this and the beginning of February, which is typically the coldest time of our year. So let's talk about some cold ones. This one I read several years ago, The Life We Bury by Alan Eskens. I just talked about this because he has a new release coming out and I'm super excited about it. This is compulsively suspenseful. No kidding. I went through this super, super fast. And this book is about Joe Talbot. So this is the first in the Joe Talbot series, or a few of those by Alan Eskens. And he's on a deadline to complete an assignment and he has to interview someone. So he goes into a nursing home and he finds Carl Iverson, who is a Vietnam veteran who is dying. And Carl is very resistant to this at first, but then he begins to tell him, Joe, about the fact that he was arrested and convicted of rape and murder. And Joe hears his story and does some things about knowing his story. There's a woman involved in this book as well. I cannot remember her name, Lila, and they start to dig deeper into what happened to Carl. I really enjoyed this. I don't know why I haven't gotten to book two, but you can see by the title, lots and lots of cold, lots and lots of snow. Another one of my favorites, Simone St. James, is an author that I really adore. And The Broken Girls, I think, was the first of hers that I ever read. And I loved it. This one is a dark academia set in the winter as well. Also involves a murder in 1950 in Vermont. Idlewild Hall boarding school. The locals say that it's haunted. That's where they got me. And then in 2014, they find another body in the overgrown fields, and they now are trying to figure out whose body this is and how this is impacting these girls. Holy cow, I remember just loving this, and it's about time for a reread of this as well. But anything by Simone St. James is wonderful, but this one in particular is set in Vermont in the cold. This one I haven't finished, but it is definitely a cold climate. I would like to finish this soon. This is The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. I put it down for a bit in favor of picking up The Briar Club, which I loved. I think it's just a little slower than I anticipated it would be. I'm 100 pages in. I feel like if I get back to this quickly, I could finish. But this is about a true story, really based on a true story, about a woman whose name is Mila. Mila Pavlichenko, and she is in the middle of Hitler's reign in invasion of Ukraine and Russia, and she then learns to use a gun and learns to be very stealth and to try to support some things that will improve the conditions of their lives and help them to win this war. So it says Mila is torn from the bloody battlefields of the Eastern Front and then sent to America on a goodwill tour, which is the other part of this, is that she ends up meeting Eleanor Roosevelt, which is quite interesting. And that part of the story is very true. So I'd like to hear what happens in this, but there's some stuff that keeps coming up for her that is not pleasant. So I do need to finish that. I do want to finish that. And so, yeah, this might be the winter that I do it. The next one is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. This was obviously a Book of the Month Club selection for me. This is so bright green. But I do love this cover. I do love this snow. I really had high hopes for this, and I did give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it a lot. I thought I would enjoy it even more. There were a couple of problematic issues in it, as I remember, but for the most part, I really liked this book a lot. And this is about a woman who organizes a writing retreat for authors. It's a chance in a lifetime at the estate of feminist horror writer Rosa Vallow. So these women all end up at this place for this writing retreat for a month. And then whoever writes the best book at the end of this writing retreat will receive a lot of money and a contract to publish that book. But in the meantime, some things go wrong, and Rosa is a very different person than they anticipated Rosa would be. And there's just a lot of stuff happening, and you're not sure who to trust. And it is really quite compulsive. And I remember there's a scene around the time that it starts to snow, and they're kind of in this isolated place. That whole thing is isolated, which, I love an isolated closed circle thing, but I just remember how creepy it was that they were in these spaces and that they were not able to leave. So if you like this sort of thing, this one might be just up your street. And then the last one I don't have a copy of, but I think I listened to it on audio, and that's No Exit by Taylor Adams. That was the first Taylor Adams novel I ever read, and I really liked that book. In fact, it probably still remains my favorite by Taylor Adams, and I've read a few since then. But No Exit is about a woman whose mother has cancer, and it's this winter storm, incredibly horrible winter storm, and she tries to go and be with her mom as she is dying from cancer, but she realizes the weather is so awful that she's not going to make it. So she stops at this rest stop to just be able to take some time and let the snow pass. And there are some other people that are at the rest stop as well. She can see the lights are on, so she parks her car, which, as I remember, also may have been running out of gas. And she, or maybe had something, I think there was a bit of a fright that she wouldn't be able to get to her mom for other reasons as well. Anyway, she goes into this rest stop where these people are all waiting out this storm and meeting these people. Again, closed circle, isolated thing. But the main focus of this book is that she discovers in the back of a van, there is a little girl out in the cold in the back of this van in a cage. Yeah. And so obviously one of the people inside that exit rest stop has done something horrible to this child. The child is still alive. The question is, what can she do and how quickly can she do it? It was very propulsive. I remember just reading that. Like, I think I did read that one in one day. I think I pretty much almost read this one in one day too. And I just remember thinking, I really like this author. So I have really enjoyed Taylor Adams. I have read 1, 2, 3 of those, and I do want to continue and read I Shot and Our Last Night. And I think another one is coming out hopefully soon. Taylor Adams is a man. Again, like I am prone to do, I associate the name Taylor or the name Curtis with people that I know and what gender they are. And in this case, I have friends who are named Taylor who are women. So I really thought Taylor Adams was a woman for a really long time until I discovered that he is not. And the same happened to me with Curtis Sittenfeld. I was sure Curtis was a man because I have a really dear friend named Curtis, but nope, Curtis is a woman. So I'm going to get this right, you guys. This is the year I'm going to get these right. But Anyway, these are just a few of the books that I would recommend for you during a snowy, cold week or weekend or month, wherever you live, and books that you can finish really, really quickly. So if you're really wanting, like I sometimes do, to just settle in on the couch with a book and be able to read it from start to finish with very little distraction, this might be your day to do that. Now, I have a long weekend coming up. And I have a list of books or stack of books. I'm not going to show you what they are, but I have a stack of books that might work for me to read in one day on a snowy weekend. And I might be going to do a vlog about that. So stay tuned and see what happens. But in the meantime, thanks for watching. I hope if you haven't read these books before, you might take a look. If you have, let me know in the comments below what you thought. And then, of course, as always, I really want you to recommend some pretty cool, maybe creepy, maybe just propulsive wintry reads. Maybe they're funny wintry reads. I'm open to whatever it is, but I really do want to kind of bundle up under some blankets and a nice sweater with my cat who's been released from the Christmas quarantine, and we're going to read through some pretty wonderful, cold, wintry, snowy books. So if you want to do that with us, please do, and please let me know what you're reading. Thanks for watching today, and as always, happy reading. Bye.